All right, so for our beginner tip of the week, this is one that someone had mentioned actually earlier in the show, and I didn't want to give away. I always have a thing where I need to make sure I don't give away all my tips of the week during the show because I'm so tempted to talk about them. But when you're crafting next to a chest, some type of a container, you're able to craft without being in the container. So you don't have to actually open the container and then choose craft. And now with the craft all button, someone had mentioned, make sure you're careful when you're standing next to containers and hit that craft all button because you can actually use all of your resources. So let's say in your inventory, you're thinking, oh, I have 10 bandages or I have 10 cloth and I want to make 10 bandages or 5 bandages. If you hit the craft all button and you're standing next to a box that has 1,000 cloth, you very easily could then find yourself with about 500 bandages. So you need to be careful, but if you pay attention to what you're doing, and it should tell you the max number, and that's one important thing to look at is when you're hitting the craft all button, look to the left, there is a number next to that, and that is the total number of whatever that item is that's going to be crafted. So stand next to a container. If you don't like, if it says that you're going to create 50 of that item and you don't want 50 of that item, you may want to go in and manually put in the number that you want to craft above that. But once you get used to this thing and how it works, you'll be able to use that craft all button to your advantage and make things happen a lot faster without having to click a million times like you did before. For our advanced tip, this is something that they put in fairly recently, but when you handcuff someone, you now have the ability to look through their inventory. So this is nice. So if you want to go up to somebody, get them to put their hands up, you can select E. It'll then show you the whole inventory of that player, and it will let you go through and add and remove things from their inventory. So perhaps you've gone and kidnapped somebody, and you're wanting to make sure that they don't have anything in their inventory, like some sort of a melee weapon or something, and you don't want them to surprise you. You can actually search their whole inventory, make sure they don't have anything they can damage you with, or perhaps you're holding this person captive and you don't want them to starve to death. You can go into their inventory, place food, place water, and still keep them handcuffed so they don't have the ability to go and try to take other things from you. So this is one of those somewhat role-playing type of features that they have in there, something you can just have fun with, handcuffing people, holding them hostage, but still being able to give them food and water. That's a fun thing they added this game. So that's the advanced tip of the week. Start playing with with handcuffing people, searching their inventory, because you can steal everything out of their inventory, take their pants now if that's what you want to do, or their shoes, and then let them on their way. It's not necessarily always a kill on sight thing.
Yeah, and that Ferment actually tested that with me this week. He was like, hey.
I think Ferment's tested that with everybody now. He's like, put your hands up.
He's like, hey Nick, come in the stash room and put your hands. I was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, oh no, this is cool. I was able to take items. I was like, oh, okay, very, very good then. So that's tips of the week. There we go.